Yay! Hello, beautiful friends. Hello, my loves, my community. Welcome. I'm very happy to be here again with you, talking on the topic of spiritual maturity in women. This has been present in my life. I feel like I've been going through a new initiation, which I'm very happy about. And this also has been a discussion in our Radiant Femme community, the membership community that I lead. And I feel like this is going to be a good topic to bring up. I think we need to get clarity on this transition from being a girl in a woman's body to being a woman, a full-on woman in a woman's body. And no judgment here, no judgment. Everyone is wherever they are on their path and whatever their purpose is in life. But we can see, and you can hear right now if you listen, that many don't even get to the stage one. Many don't even get to the stage one of spiritual / psychological maturity and this transition from a girl to a woman. So what am I talking here about? When we just look at, a person who is running around the life, has maybe some responsibilities, maybe employed, working for someone, maybe chose the career based on, what's profitable, what people say is a good career to have, maybe what family recommended, etc. And then there is awakening that happens that, whoa, like something is wrong, like something is not working for me here. Maybe I'm burning myself out. We also at this stage see this woman being burnt out because she's too much in her masculine. She's running and operating her life from a very masculine standpoint, where she's a lot about achieving, a lot about success, planning ahead, and just overall this kind of a sense of competition that she needs to be always the best, that there's not enough of positions, of resources, etc., and that she needs to always be like in her mode. And there's also this aspect of performance, of linear performance or steady upward performance, that doesn't allow the cyclical nature of the femininity to come through, where we are sometimes up and sometimes down, right? But the masculine way is more sort of like, you're working 5 days and then you're off on the weekends, and that's kind of how the schedule goes, and that's what you need to do. Doesn't matter how you feel inside, how your body feels, and how your spirit feels. So when women awaken to the state where, whoa, like something in my life is just not working for me, like there's too much compromise with my body, compromise with my nature, compromise with my desires. Maybe I'm not even sure what I want, but I know this I don't want anymore. Compromise with how people communicate to me. Maybe there's just relationships, a lot of relationships that are based on guilt and shame and fear, whether it is in the work environment, right? There's oftentimes a lot of fear, or whether it is with the family. Sometimes there is just a strong guilt and shame that's involved in the family dynamic, and the woman is just like, oh my God, like I can't. And maybe she even gets to the place where her body is starting to shut down and say no by being sick a lot of times. And then she's like, oh my God, what's wrong with my body? So you get in the point, right? So at this point, she's starting to wake up to being like, wait, something is different. Like I want something else. And she's starting to go inward. And this, what I call, is the first stage. The first stage of this transitioning from a spiritually being a girl to a woman. And she's starting to connect to her essence, connect to her nature, start to understand where her desires are, to heal the connection to her inner child. This is a big part of that, to start hearing her, to start, saying no to things. And in this place, she is developing that inner connection, that connection to her intuitive essence, whatever, to her feminine essence, to her soul, heart, whatever you want to call it. But she's starting to discover more of who she is and her truth on the inside. And that is the time when she may go more inward, more to her senses, maybe some relationships starting to end because she no longer responds to the dynamic that has, been holding for a long time, and then people don't want to readjust to a different way. And also in this place, she becomes like way more sensitive, and maybe there's more of this sort of like less structure. Sometimes people even quit jobs, or they just kind of just resign and from the life that they had, and there's more of like this kind of pause that happens. And by the way, the stages that I'm talking about, even though I'm speaking of them in a linear manner, they are not linear, of course, but usually we tend to focus more on one than another, but they're of course all connected, so it's not that linear. But still, so this first stage of coming into, the inward and learning more about yourself, learning what works, what you like, what you don't like. And that's also when we start going to all these healing circles and maybe ecstatic dances and all this kind of, spiritual gatherings and retreats, and there's just the conversation about healing. And the danger here to get stuck is that all we focus is on healing. It's like healing because our life becomes our life purpose. It's like we reject the life that was before because we see that it wasn't working, like the societal conditioning that we started to turn off in ourselves. We start being resentful of that. And so we kind of swing to the other polarity of like, no, I have nothing to do with this, with this kind of society, with this life. And after that, we get to the place, and some don't, and this is what I said, we can get stuck in this kind of healing, constantly healing and constantly, looking at what else is there, that's hurting. But the second stage that we must come into and be initiated into is the stage of becoming this mother to our child, to our inner child. And we must bring in structure and action into our life, because until we do, all of those desires, all of those beautiful things that we've discovered in ourselves as our potential, our creative genius, until we have the structure and until we're able to be strong in the world to hold ourselves in our life, more of this masculine, right, that's supporting the feminine, then the child, that inner child, will never see the world. Our potential will never be realized. So we need to bring in this masculine structure into our life that supports the feminine expression, and that serves it. That doesn't dominate it like in the stage 0, right? But that serves it. And so in this case, where we come in is that, we still focus a lot on ourselves, but we learn that I'm a creator of my own reality. I can, we start doing things that will help us make financial goals based on our creative genius. So we start to learn ways and look for ways how we can make money with our talents, instead of just sort of like living it as a hobby, right? But making it more of what I desire and how can I express it into the world? How can I make money with that? Because that's ultimately the great service within that we have, that we're serving that feminine expression. And that's when the inner child is really starting to play, really starting to see the world, when she is becoming all this expressed in her, whatever the creative expression is. It's not necessarily the artistic classical way that we used to think of. It can be, you can be like a really good leader, or, you have just something of your unique essence that you can package and put beautifully, but it's very difficult here. It's very difficult because now you have to find your own structure from within. It's much more difficult to do because when you work for someone, everything is provided for you. You know, your work environment, somebody is looking after you as far as are you on time, you know, they providing you clients, but when you are you know, they're providing you your salary, right? But when you are working for yourself, that's really difficult. So now you have to have your strong feminine and a strong masculine within. This is where what we can also get stuck here is where we just become selfish. And you can see the first step is also quite selfish because it's all about me, my own healing. Here is all about me, my own expression, my own reality. I create my reality, what I want, right? But it's a necessary step in our soul evolution, in our maturation. And the third step becomes possible when we kind of grounded ourselves in the second step. And then we are so full that we realize that, oh my God, like that's not only me. I want to, you know, say either have children or provide for my children, right? So we start taking responsibility not only for ourselves and our life, that what we do in the stage 2, but also for the people that are around us, for our community, for our future children or future generations. We become in service of life, because we're so deeply connected to that inner essence, especially as a woman, when we develop that in the first stage, develop that connection to our womb, to our essence that's really hard to express in words, but it's something that we can practice and truly feel and embody. Then we want to serve the truth. And in this case, that's also where scaling happens. So we become more present in life because we take more responsibility. We then can reach more people. We can reach more and create more impact in the world. And really the question becomes is, why am I here? What is this life about? Like why is my presence here on the planet is important? Like why do, not that I need to justify my existence, but if I'm here in this physical body only once, in this physical body only once, and I have this beautiful potential and I'm realizing that potential, eventually it becomes not enough to just play with yourself. You want to play with others. You want to co-create the experience, and this is where you become the co-creator of our reality, where we start collecting the forces, finding people who are on the same page with us and creating something with them. And even if not, even if we're still sort of like leaders of in our own whatever business, we still understand that we are all serving a very important function, and that is a unique function, and that my function helps your function to be served and vice versa. And there's this, at this stage we get to the place of great gratitude for others and what they do, and value in others and what they do, and at the same time great value of yourself. So this is where we come into this horizontal relationships and understanding of the value of each person, and that it's not someone who is more valued and someone who is less valued, because we deeply get to connect to the sense of value within, and we see that it's not because of our performance, but because I'm given all these opportunities. Like I have my voice, I have my arms, I have my legs, and some people don't, and they still create amazing impact. Then why not play? Why not play this with this experience? Yes, you know, life is temporary. Yes, maybe on some sort of spiritual level, illusion is and suffering is an illusion. But in this physical body, and that's what I always say, this goddess path, in this physical body, suffering is not an illusion. And so why not help other people to help them feel better? And it's not about saving the world. When we get into the zone of saving the world, we're more at the stage one. That's kind of like more we're still in a child position or a victim, and perpetrator position, where we need to save someone from something. No, but it's playing, it's co-creating, it's seeing how my actions can create a rippling effect, and that's fun. It's like, whoa, like that's a fun game to play. Like, why would I want something less? And again, I always say, I think on this, on this platform, a lot of people who connect with me, they do have big purpose and big goals, but it doesn't mean that it has to be so kind of global and everybody has to see. It may be with, changing culture within the family dynamic. And that's already major, right? So it doesn't have to be something, we shouldn't be imagining something that's so major, but maybe changing the culture within your work environment, and maybe you are still staying as an employee to an organization, say educational system, right? We need people who are leading the change from within. So there's many things that I can say about this, but I wanted to kind of briefly give you this description of this maturation. And you may find yourself on one stage, you may see that you also have some, kind of ideas of the other. And usually we focus, like I said, more on one while it's being integrated in us. And then we're then able to move to the next one. And it could take years. Each stage can take years. And it's not something that we need to rush or we can rush. But it does require, the more it's not about really rushing, but it's more about our focus. If we dedicate more focus to it, there is more energy that flows to it, and so the integration takes place much faster. And then if we are, sporadically sort of think about it while also sort of falling into some other, distractions, which is okay, then it may take longer. So none of it is right or wrong, but I wanted to bring that awareness to you. So let me know if this resonates, if this is something that you can see for yourself in your life, if you've thought of it, if you have your own kind of way how you look at things, because obviously this is, my perspective and my experience and experience of the people with whom I'm around, but maybe you have your own life experience that you want to share. I would love to know about that. And I'll leave you here. Much love, and I will talk to you next time.